Good morning. Welcome to the Love That is Unity of Lawrence on Zoom. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's join our prayer chaplain, Karen, as we begin our service by opening to that divine presence we know is within us.
Good morning. Take a few moments to take in a couple of deep cleansing breaths, breathing in and breathing out, closing our eyes to the outer concerns and bringing ourselves to that heart center, that heart space. And know this for yourself. On this day, I dedicate myself to peace on earth. I accept myself without harsh judgment and express appreciation for my individuality. In the spirit of allowing and acceptance, I open to the connection with others, exploring the endless possibilities of unity. I acknowledge the concerns and fears of the current events and focus love and light to all involved, knowing that the one source is available to all people of all faiths. In harmony with all that is and will be and has been, I live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful spirit, and a peaceful, peaceful heart. Thank you, God. Amen.
Thank you, Karen. Please join Holly in singing Where I Sit is Holy. Music and lyrics are traditional Native American and additional lyrics by Barbara Clark.
Welcome and good morning. We're going to start off with a ceremonial song today. Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me. Who I am is holy, holy are we. Body, thought, emotion, connecting you and me. Great Spirit circles all around me. What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, listen to the day. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me. Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me. Who I am is holy, holy are we. Body, thought, emotion, connecting you and me. Great Spirit circles all around me. What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, celebrate the day. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me.
Thank you, Holly. Please affirm with me Unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. Now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Today we welcome Cindy. Cindy Novelo is an award-winning singer-songwriter, mindfulness meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and life coach who has been influenced by 17 years of life overseas and a lifetime of spiritual seeking. It is Cindy's deepest desire to help the world find healing through the unveiling of the heart and the letting go of the things that divide. An ovarian cancer survivor, Cindy has experienced firsthand the bounty of grace within misfortune. Her talks, performances, and workshops are at once inspiring, heartwarming, informative, and soulful. She finds working with others to deepen their own healing, spiritual, and creative journeys one of her most rewarding endeavors. Welcome, Cindy.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here with you all. It's nice to see some familiar faces and even the faces I can't see, knowing the names. There's faces behind the names. And it was really interesting to hear that bio read back to me, because especially that business about grace within misfortune, Unity Church of Lawrence was a big piece of that grace during that journey of mine. So lots of significance there, looking at you all on the screen, knowing you're here with me this morning. So I'm going to start us today with this song by Karen Drucker, David Roth, and Faith Rivera called Morning Prayer, I Will Surrender. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free, as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I'm more centered every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I'm more peaceful every moment, every day. And I am wiser every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day. So I'm really excited to share this talk this morning. This has been, oh, thank you for the hearts. This has been a really powerful practice for me that I have been using for a while. So I'm just excited to share it with you today about learning how to respond wisely to whatever we might face in our lives using the energies, elements, the elements from the earth. So I wanted to start today actually with a quote by an Uruguayan journalist named Eduardo Galeano. He says, "The church says the body is a sin. Science says the body is a machine. Advertising says the body is a business. The body says, I am a fiesta." So I just love that, and I've really been getting into these somatic practices, really living in the body. So we're going to be exploring today how there's a fiesta going on inside of us. These elements are having a fiesta in there, and we can experience life as this fiesta as we start to tap into these energies. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. So what's important to recognize is that different circumstances in life call for different responses. So what is wise in one circumstance isn't necessarily the wise response in another one. So it's not always wise to just remain silent and strong and listen. Sometimes it is, but some other times what's wise is to speak, fiercely to truth, etc. So when we have these tools in our pocket, we'll be able to access them to decide what might be the wisest response. So Ruth King, the author of Mindful of Race, wrote this: "There are times when we will need to stand our ground, strong like a mountain, and observe what emerges. And there are times when we may need to add a spark of fiery truth to a situation. Other times we may need to be open and allow more space around the tightness of our worries, or let go and be held by an ocean of love." So this quote came from an article she wrote about how to be equanimous in a racialized world. She's a Buddhist teacher, and there are what are called the Brahma Viharas. And I took a course called Wise Effort and the Brahma Viharas, and this is where I first experienced this practice. So the Brahma Viharas are these mind states, emotional states that help us to foster positivity in the world. So they're equanimity, which is, balance, just staying peacefully balanced, empathetic joy, compassion, and loving kindness. So we can cultivate these different mind states so that we can be in a better place. So that's partly what we're going to be doing today, using these earth energies. So when we connect with these energies and really feel them in our bodies, have this embodied experience, it can be really powerfully healing and nurturing. And this is what I've been exploring and experiencing lately. And we all hold the power of all of these elements: earth, air, water, and fire within us. We don't have to go searching for them. They're all within us. And we're made up of the same thing as the earth, the same elements. So this really brings, so this is really exciting to me because we can learn to cultivate these energies in a really organic, natural way. And when we do that, we can also start living then with more joy and more peace and more light, because we're not trying to do something artificial or be anything that we aren't. We are just bringing forth things that are already within us. So it reminds me of the unity principle number 5, that action is needed, because it isn't enough to just sit and have good thoughts. We need to go out and take positive action in the world, but not just any action. What we need is wise action. We need to respond in ways that are actually creating a better situation for ourselves and for other people. It also brings to mind the third principle, which is our thoughts create our experience. So as we activate these different energies, we're also changing our thought patterns. It's not just, for nothing, but as we cultivate them within us, we're also changing how we're thinking, which changes everything about our experience and the experience of those around us. So as we move through the challenges of our lives, whether it's right now coming out of this time of pandemic, which is its own challenge, or facing racial injustice or climate change, or personal or family hardships, or a health crisis, or a job difficulty, whatever it might be, we can call upon the strength of these elemental inner resources for balance and for equipoise, and for the wisest possible course of action to take. So today's talk is going to be a little bit different maybe from what people usually do in Unity. I do a lot of teaching of meditation, and so I'm going to move us through this meditative process. And you are welcome to just, when I start, to close your eyes and keep your eyes closed in that state for the whole rest of my talk if you'd like. Just make it a long meditation. Or after each element, there'll be an affirmation. You're welcome to open your eyes, and you're welcome to leave your eyes open the whole time if you'd like. But if you want to come out and listen to what I'm talking about as I introduce the next element, that's also fine. So that's kind of up to you how you want to experience this. So we're going to take a moment first to just really arrive here. And I know we've already had that beautiful prayer and that beautiful song from Holly, which I loved. But we're just going to breathe a little bit together to bring us more here. I was in a meditation sangha the other night, and the facilitator, the main facilitator, said, I invite you to transition from getting here to being here. So, we rush around and get to the next thing, but it's a different thing to actually be here in this moment. So we're just going to do a little bit of breathing here together. So if you'd like to close down your eyes or find a soft gaze in front of you, that can be very helpful. So just take a few deep breaths, maybe sighing out the exhale if that feels good to you. So the breath really brings us into our bodies, which are here and now in this present moment. Everything sacred and holy, everything we witness as humans or experience as humans, all the beauty and sorrow, all the delight and creation, all perception happens through the body. Sights and sounds, sensations and thoughts, this is where the fiesta happens. So the breath really allows us to come into the body. So you might just take a moment to experience the breath as a miracle. It really is amazing that we're breathing in life in every moment and then breathing it out. The breath also connects us with everybody else across the globe. When we breathe in, we're breathing in the same breath that others breathed out. And likewise, when we breathe out, others are taking us in. They actually say it takes about 6 months for the breath that we're breathing here to travel all the way across the world. So we're not even just sharing it with those locally, but with the whole entire world. There's a quote I love from Albert Einstein, who says there are 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. So when we stop and take a deep breath, we can just have that experience of everything being a miracle. And really, we can do this with anything. The breeze on our face, our hand moving through space, walking, everything is pretty mind-blowing when you really allow yourself to open up to that. So the first element that we're going to explore is the earth element. It's really useful to tap into this element when we are out of balance or facing chaos, or feel fearful or uncertain. Thich Nhat Hanh tells this beautiful story. So he's a Vietnamese Zen master and author, teacher. And he talks about when the Vietnamese people were leaving Vietnam in the boats. It's very treacherous. And what he found is that if there was just one calm person in the boat, then they did okay. It only took one. So this is an opportunity for us to learn how to be that calm person in the boat. So if you think about a mountain, you can even right now perhaps picture a favorite mountain image in your mind's eye. The mountain remains strong and stable, no matter what the weather. Whether there is sunshine or darkness, drought or rain, storm or calm, the mountain remains calm, steady, centered, balanced. So we can steady the body and the mind by imagining ourselves as a mountain. As we steady the body, the mind starts to settle. So this is a useful practice when you feel fragile, breakable, unsteady. Just as a tree's upper branches in a storm can appear fragile and vulnerable, so too we can feel fragile when we are experiencing strong emotions. When we use this image of the mountain, we are bringing our attention down, grounding and centering ourselves. So you might just do that now. Just imagine yourself as a mountain. And as you breathe, allow your awareness and your breath to go deep into your core, all the way to your seat. You might feel the gentle pull of gravity and how you are held by the earth, deeply connected. What qualities of the mountain are attractive to you? Perhaps the stability, centeredness, groundedness, vitality. Feel those same qualities in your own body as you sit here like a mountain. Allow yourself to feel the weight of your body, the solidity of your bones. Feel again how gravity holds you, your connection to the earth, how you are of the earth. Repeat to yourself, breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel stable and strong, balanced and grounded. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel stable and strong, balanced and grounded. And each of these elements, this practice, includes an affirmation, a kind of metta, loving kindness prayer, which connects us to unity principle number 5, that prayer is connection. So these affirmations, these prayers, connect us to the practice, but also to all others across the globe who engage in these practices, and to the divine within us. So for the earth, we say, may I be grounded and stable like a mountain, able to meet whatever arises with dignity and balance. So just like the weather coming and going over the mountain, storm or calm, drought or rain, the mountain remains calm. If many people come to visit, the mountain remains. If no one comes, the mountain remains stable and steady, complete within itself. May I be grounded and stable like a mountain, able to meet whatever arises with dignity and balance. And then we move on to the fire element. So fire has this amazing transformative power. I like to think of the fires that they set on the prairie to rejuvenate the soil in preparation for new life. Really an important element. It's really useful to use this element when we are speaking truth to power, which can be a challenging thing to do, when we need motivation, when we need purification, or it's time to let go, to burn away old habits or thought patterns, when we're called to rise up or to transform, to become something more. So I had a great example of this in my life recently. I ended a relationship that I was quite attached to, actually. It was exciting for a while, but it had become not so healthy, actually. And something occurred, and I got really angry, which is not my normal mode. But it wasn't like that kind of gripping anger where I was just really pissed off at a person, right? It was more like, whoa, this kind of anger of fierce self-compassion. There's a story about a uh, golden Buddha in the South. So this is a true story in Southeast Asia, that it was a clay Buddha, really huge clay Buddha that was quite famous. And then at one point, when a monk discovered there was a crack and they were going to repair the cracks, and they saw something gleaming underneath, this gold that was gleaming underneath. And it turned out that it was actually a golden statue that had been covered with mud, and it had been covered for centuries with mud. And so they started carefully uncovering it all, and it became this beautiful golden Buddha. And historians decided that it was probably covered intentionally to protect it from some invasions that were happening. So there was a reason there was this mud covering, but it also kept its light from shining. So that happens to us a lot, right? We get this mud covering over our inner light. So that's what I felt like in this time of anger that I was experiencing. It's like I was casting off this clay and just like, no, that's not what I need or want in my life. And it felt actually really good. So that's the kind of fire I'm talking about that allows us to, like, just like, no, no, I'm going to stand for something else. I'm going to be something else and stand for something else. So we can take a moment to experience this fire element. So again, if your eyes are open, you might want to close them down or find a soft gaze in front of you. Begin to feel the warmth of your body, the fire of your digestion. Our bodies are actually in a constant state of transformation, turning food into energy, cells being replaced. Just as fire on the prairie prepares the ground for new growth, the fire within us burns away impurities, preparing us for internal transformation so that we can be birthed anew. So reconnect with that heat in your body, the natural heat of your body. As you breathe in, you can repeat to yourself, breathing in, I connect with the fire within. Breathing out, I am purified and transformed. Breathing in, I connect with the fire within. Breathing out, I am purified and transformed. The affirmation for the fire element is, may I feel the glow of my fire and know the power of the light and heat of my being. And now we'll move to the water element to connect with the flow and depth and vastness we hold within. This is a wonderful element to tap into when there are obstacles in our path, or when things just aren't going as we would have envisioned, when we start clinging to things being a certain way instead of going with the flow. So a couple of experiences in my own life where I was able to apply this is, one time I was traveling as a musician, touring, and I was staying with some friends on their couch in their living room. And in the morning I got up to do some yoga in this very cramped quarters. And as I started to do my practice, there was a fan that my hand, kept knocking into. And at first I was like, it's annoying. I don't have enough space for my yoga, right? Not exactly a calm, balanced state of mind. And then I realized, you know what? It's just there. It's just a fan. I can move it, or I can just flow around it. I can just move, my arm knows how to move, right? So I can just flow around the fan and make it part of my practice. I don't have to let this obstacle ruin my day, which is what we do a lot of the time, right? So I just continued on with my practice, and that has just always stayed with me, not just when I'm doing something physical, but in other ways too. If there's something there Maybe I have a choice to change it, but maybe not. And I can just instead, a lot of times it takes less effort to just flow around whatever that might be. Another example of this that comes to mind is I was taking a Bikram yoga class. It's that super hot yoga, which is not my cup of tea, but I was teaching a class at Baker University to a bunch of students, and I was taking them to all of the major studios in town, and I didn't want to censor. Some people love that kind of yoga. So I had not experienced it before, and I went in, the teacher's in the front with a headset on. She was like a military, drill sergeant. Okay, now push more, do this more, bend more. Okay, now meditate. Okay, then, all right. And at first, I found it a little bit off-putting, but then I was like, all right, I can make that part of my practice. I do not have to let her demeanor, her voice, the words she's saying disturb my practice. It's my practice. I can just let that be part of it. Actually, how can I stay in my practice calm and centered regardless of what's happening in the room? So it's another way of just like allowing, enveloping what is there, just like the ocean would, envelop whatever, or a stream flows past a boulder, and just, allow it to be part of my practice. So we'll take a moment here with the water element. So perhaps closing down your eyes again. And begin to tune into all the fluids in your body. The water element. Blood, tears, saliva, digestive juices. Up to 60% of the human body is fluid. We rely on water for all our systems to work. So it's not for nothing that they tell us to drink a lot of water. Our circulatory system, our digestive system, lymphatic system, immune system, digestive system, endocrine system, nervous system, it all relies on water. It's all flowing all the time. A beautiful fiesta. So feel this flow of your body. Know that you are intimately connected to all the flowing waters of the earth. Breathing in, I am like the ocean and the river. I feel the fluidity, depth, and vastness of my being. Breathing out, I know I can flow with life. Breathing in, I am like the ocean. I feel the fluidity, depth, and vastness of my being. Breathing out, I know I can flow with life. May I flow like water and feel the depth and vastness of my being. And then we move to the air element. This is also wonderful to use when you feel overwhelmed or worried or constricted. There's a tradition in the meditative practice where you just imagine your mind like sky. We can also just think of our beings as this vast open spaciousness where there's space for everything that occurs, no matter what it is, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. We can hold all of life in this spacious container if we allow ourselves to open up and recognize that's actually what we are. The air element is also really useful when we feel disconnected or isolated. We can just do that breathing practice we did at the beginning, recognizing that we're not separate from anyone. It's actually quite mistaken that we think our bodies end with our skin. We're constantly taking in, both with the breath, as we eat, as we eliminate, we're giving out, as we exhale, we're breathing out. So we're in this constant exchange with the earth and with other people. So again, perhaps closing down your eyes if they're open. And just feel the spaciousness of your body. Know that much of your body is space. The lungs, the nasal cavity, ear canal, oral cavity, intestinal tract. These spaces are filled with gases and communicate with the natural space outside the body. Each of our cells actually consists primarily of space. So despite appearing solid, much of the human body is space. Feel the breath. The breath is with us from our first moment of awakening to our last. Feel the air around you, which is waiting to become breath. Feel how with each breath you are giving and receiving, letting go and taking in. Allowing ourselves space within us and around us, emotionally, physically, in our schedules, in our homes, allows us to move through the world with more grace and ease and freedom. You can repeat to yourself, breathing in, I allow myself to be open and spacious like the sky. Breathing out, I feel happy and free. Breathing in, I allow myself to be open and spacious like the sky. Breathing out, I feel happy and free. And the affirmation for this element, may I be immense like space, open to the unfolding of life, knowing there is room for it all, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the falls, the darkness and the light. So next time you're facing a challenging situation, you can pause, scan through the elements, earth, fire, water, air, remembering this practice and sensing which might best serve you and the situation in which you find yourself. Knowing that each of these energies represents the divine within you. May I be grounded and stable like a mountain, able to meet whatever arises with dignity and balance. May I feel the glow of my fire and know the power of the light and heat of my being. May I flow like water and feel the depth and vastness of my being. May I be immense like space, open to the unfolding of life, knowing there is room for it all, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the falls, the darkness and the light. Within me I hold all this wisdom. You can continue to sit with your eyes closed for this song offering. It is like its own meditation, affirming that the divine flows through us in all things. I am the way that breathes in you. I am the way that speaks through you. I am the way that lives in you. I am the way. I am the way. I am the truth that breathes in you. I am the truth that speaks through you. the truth that lives in you. I am the truth. I am the way. With every breath, breathe in me. With every step, live in me. I am the light that breathes in you. I am the light that speaks through you. I am the life that lives in you. I am the light. I am the way. I breathe in you. I speak through you. I am the way. Thank you all so much. And don't forget, you are a rockin' fiesta.
I love that. Thank you, Cindy. Now is our time of thanks and offering. I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Please go online to give via PayPal or write a check and mail it in to support the Unity of Lawrence ministry. Thank you. Now let's join Holly in singing My Religion is Kindness by Karen Drucker.
Welcome and good morning. We're going to start off with a ceremonial song today. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job's to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I'll practice it every day. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job's to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I'll practice it every day. Everyone has a story. Everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we'll find we're all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a style, a connection, a simple loving touch. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job's to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I'll practice it every day. My religion is kindness, and I'll practice it every day.
Grateful, grateful, grateful. For the message, for the music. It's been a most marvelous service. And the reminders that we are the elements of this world. And then through that, we are. That phone call was. Anyway, thank you, God. Amen.
All right. So this song is a traditional song. It's actually to the tune of This Little Light of Mine. It's called This Joy. And I just inserted words that I thought would help us to affirm the strength of these elements within us. And it's actually perfectly suited to this message for today. So you can sing along if you want. Singing is a really healing thing, and it gets us in our bodies just like breathing. So, and I mean, you're by yourself probably anyway. But even if someone is there, a lot of people feel like they can't sing. And I always like to remind people, if Bob Dylan can do it, so can you. So just let your voice be what it is and enjoy the fiesta. So this is just, you just say, this joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me 3 times. And then the last line is, the world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. And then we'll just change the one word each verse. So here we go. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This fire in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This fire in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This fire in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This space in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This space in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This space in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. This joy, everybody, this joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. Yay, good singing, everyone.
Thank you, Cindy. What a beautiful message. And I love the meditations for each of the elements. Now it is time for our announcements. Do you have any news that you would like to share with your family at Unity? Contact Kathy in the office with your announcements, blessing, or news that you'd like to share. Please hold the date, Saturday, July 17th, for a cleanup day at the church. Please join us for donuts and coffee at 10 a.m. to start getting our building ready to reopen on August 1st. We'll be deep cleaning inside and sprucing up the grounds outside. We look forward to seeing you all for a time of fellowship and fun. Join us next week as Cecilia St. King brings us special music and a special 4th of July message, Freedom. Let us bless our youth and each other. Rub your hands together and say with me, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And I cannot wait until we are able to do that in person here in a few short weeks. Now we're going to sing the original peace song with Holly and Bradford.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We invite our speaker and others to stay online for a few minutes to visit